Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's session of DPA on Law and Development. The topic of today's discussion is the case of Abba Kyari. Abba Kyari is the Deputy Commissioner of Police in the Nigerian Police Force, the very highly decorated police officer with tremendous reputation on his crime-fighting credentials. But Abba Kyari had another part to himself. He had a part of him which showed him to have been involved in gross human rights violations all over the country over a long period of time when he was the commander of the infamous SARS, and since he had been the commander of the Rapid Intelligence Response Team, IRT, which was a crack team of police force under the command of the Inspector General of Police. In IRT, Abba Kyari firmed up his reputation as the super cop. But beneath that glamorous surface is a man with incredible record of human rights violations, gross abuses, and tremendous degree of criminality. About 6 months ago, Abba Kyari was implicated in the case of a notorious fraudster and internet fraudster known as Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy was arrested by the United States authorities, the FBI to be precise, and taken to the United States from Dubai. Hush Puppy was charged along with 5 other Nigerians involved in their scheme of corruption, fraud, and internet theft. Abba Kyari was one of those Nigerians. So the United States government sent to Nigerian government a request for extradition of Abba Kyari. They want Abba Kyari to come to the United States and stand trial. There was a tremendous excitement about this story. Many people really wanted this untouchable Abba Kyari to face justice, so they wanted him extradited. But we knew it would be a problem for Nigerian government because Abba Kyari was someone they had held out to be their best. And when your best turns out to be a criminal, that is a terrible indictment, not just of the particular individual implicated, but the entire system that produced him. So we expected, Nigerian citizens feared that the government would find a way to avoid sending Abba Kyari to the United States. There was a clamor for the extradition to be honored. Abba Kyari was suspended, and the police high command set up an investigative team to look into the matter. The investigative team dragged its feet. It was not clear what they wanted to do. Again, it strengthened the suspicion of the people that the government of Nigeria, particularly the police force, would find a way to avoid extraditing Abba Kyari. But as we predicted at that time, for the United States government to send such extradition request, U.S. must have done a thorough job. They knew the personality involved. They knew his position in the police force. They understood the sensitivity of this request and the sensitivity of the individual requested to be extradited. So United States must have weighed all the options and decided to go ahead with it. So we were confident that Nigeria would not be able, ultimately, to frustrate this request. So, but a number of events seem to have overtaken our fears. While Abba Kyari was suspended from heading the IRT, Abba Kyari got implicated in a drug-related offense in which he played a very powerful role. He was heading a team of police officers who had been involved in drug rings. And Abba Kyari was caught on tape negotiating a deal on drug. He was basically paying money for members of the Drug Enforcement Agency not to prosecute and to influence their decisions and to tamper with the drugs they seized. That was too much for a government that seemed already tired with Abba Kyari's stories. So the Drug Enforcement Agency moved hard on the police, on Abba Kyari, against the initial resistance of the police authority, and Abba Kyari was arrested. After being arrested, he was detained for 2 weeks against his pressure to be released on bail. At the end of the 2 weeks of detention, he was indicted. He was formally charged, along with his colleagues, with serious drug-related offenses. The offenses Abba Kyari was charged with in Nigeria are far more serious than the offense for which he is wanted in the United States. So when he was taken in Nigeria, many people saw that as another attempt by Nigerian government to frustrate sending Abba Kyari to the United States. The question is, why would Nigerians prefer that Abba Kyari be tried in the United States for a relatively lesser offense than to be tried in Nigeria for a very serious offense? Why? It reflected one thing. It reflected the fact that Nigerians are suspicious of our judicial system. Nigerians do not have faith and confidence in the courts of Nigeria. They do not believe that if Abba Kyari was put to stand trial in Nigeria, that the system will be fair, that the system will find him guilty. So they preferred for him to be in the United States instead. Honestly, if Nigeria does not want to extradite Abba Kyari, Nigeria has now a legitimate ground not to extradite him. Nigeria can argue that there is no need for us to export this criminal because we have him in our own net. Nigeria's right as a sovereign nation to try and to prosecute Abba Kyari overrides the right of the United States to have him extradited to the United States. So if Nigeria wants to avoid extradition, Nigeria will do so. But it seems that even Nigerian government has no confidence in its own judicial system. Nigerian government seems to believe that if Abba Kyari were to be tried in Nigeria for drug-related offenses, despite the compelling evidence against him, he might escape justice. So, just the same way the Nigerian president is not confident in Nigerian hospitals for his own personal treatments, Nigerian government is not confident in our own courts for prosecution of our criminals. Nigeria wants to export its criminal suspect to be tried in the United States. And the government has done an excellent job in planning this. While Abba Kyari was in detention facing the drug charges, the government was able to commence forfeiture proceedings in order to seize properties that Abba Kyari had illegally acquired over time. It's very interesting for people to understand what is happening. If the government had gone straight with extradition of Abba Kyari would have been sent to the United States, and his properties, choice estates, and massive accumulations he made would have been left intact. And Abba Kyari would have gone to the United States, make a plea deal, get a life sentence, and after 5 to 6 years will come back to Nigeria, a very rich man. The government did not want that. They wanted to pursue him on a law that will enable them commence forfeiture proceedings. And that was what the drug agency, what the drug-related offenses did. Under that, they were able to seize properties of Abba Kyari. And just as Abba Kyari was to begin to ask to have these properties back, in other words, as he was begin to challenge these forfeitures, Nigerian government commenced extradition proceedings, and the date is now set for August 29 for the court to make a ruling on the request to extradite Abba Kyari. And I am confident that the court is going to order that Abba Kyari be extradited to the United States to face trial. Then what happens to the drug-related offenses? That is going to be a subject of another discussion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening.